Welcome to another episode of the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing. This week, the Secretary of Tourism and Transportation, Tracy Davidson Celestine, and the Secretary of Finance and Enterprise Development, Dwell Jack, addressed the media.
First off, let me comment on the recent statement last Friday by the Minister of Finance in the Parliament with respect to declining oil revenues and the implications for Tobago. Let me say at the onset that we are aware of the situation in the Tobago House of Assembly. We have been monitoring the situation for some time, and I want to point persons back to my budget statement in June of this year. You may recall in my budget statement in June and my recent statement in October, I alluded to the potential negative effects of declining oil revenues on the national economy, and there was something that we had to pay attention to. In the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development, we are constantly reviewing the global economic climate, and the technocrats in the division are continuing an exercise looking at various implications and looking at various scenarios should there be a further decline in oil prices. Part of the exercise that the Assembly recently undertook in October from the budget statement in June, moving forward to October, in terms of the reallocation of our resources, we also took into consideration deteriorating situation with respect to international oil and gas prices, and as well as commodity prices. So we are aware of the situation. Let me say that we are in charge. We have managed well in the past, and you may recall as recent as 2008, 2009, the global economic challenge, and as an Assembly we surmounted those challenges, and going forward this is no different. I will continue to do so now and in the future. So we are not panicked, we are well aware and we are monitoring the situation. And that is why the exercise in October that with respect to the motion that was recently passed in the House and the implications for the Tobago economy, that's why that motion in October was so important. So we continue to monitor the situation as it unfolds. I'm also pleased to report that the Inter-American Development Bank met with the Tobago House of Assembly on Monday, yesterday, and arising out of that meeting, I'm pleased to report a number of initiatives and some really positive news for us here in Tobago. At the meeting, we discussed internships for Tobagonians under the YES program, and we discussed and agreed in principle with respect to the possibility of having both long-term and short-term internships for young Tobagonians at the IADB under the YES program. This internship program will target both students leaving secondary schools as well as our university graduates. It will be geared towards giving young Tobagonians meaningful work experience, and the program will seek to develop, as we are aware, the YES program seeks to develop essential skills which the interns would need to take them into the world of work. In addition, professional staff at the IADB will also serve as mentors to the young interns. I have given instructions to the Deputy Director of the YES program, Ms. Shamfa Kojo. I've given her the mandate to make the formal proposal to the YES to enable us to formalize these arrangements for the internship programs. We are truly excited and encouraged at by the possibilities of having our young people intern at the IADB. And this initiative comes at a time when we're able to secure internships from a number of national and as well as private sector agencies. In addition, I could mention here internships at the Central Bank, which we were able to secure last year. We've also had favorable responses from a number of agencies, including the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, and as well as the private sector. With respect to our public-private partnership unit in Tobago, you may recall last November I reported that the IADB assisted the Assembly in facilitating a training program, facilitating persons in the Assembly attending a training program in the United States. And again, the IADB, they have restated their commitment to assist the Assembly in establishing our PPP unit in terms of assisting us with capacity building and training, and also with respect to technical assistance in terms of assessing a number of projects that will be implemented by the PPP modality. So we look forward to this continued assistance from the IADB. With respect to the SME sector, the IADB has also agreed to provide technical support with respect to the development of the SME sector in Tobago, and we look forward to the technical cooperation and assistance from the relevant persons. We also spoke about issues related to public procurement and reform with respect to public sector finances, and this is another welcome area that we will welcome the support and technical assistance from the IADB. We also spoke about the early childhood education centers in Tobago. Previously, 5 centers were earmarked for construction on the island, but today we are informed about a few challenges with respect to those early childhood centers. The Assembly was also updated on the National Wastewater Revolving Fund for Trinidad and Tobago. And this will involve the refurbishment of the Scarborough Wastewater Treatment Plant and also connections to properties in Scarborough and environs to the sewer network. And this project is expected to commence in the first quarter of 2015. So I think we've had a number of positive developments arising out of the meeting with the IADB. I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to our hardworking other members of staff at the Division of Finance for putting their heads together to come up with another excellent Finance Week celebrations. I think this year's Finance Week really maintained the level that we have set in the past, and the staff should be commended for really for their efforts in hosting another successful Finance Week. What we did differently this year is that I asked the staff to really increase the outreach and for us to embrace our corporate social responsibility, and they did not disappoint. And what we did differently this year, the staff went out and visited a home for the aged and also the children's home at Calder Hall, and they have decided to partner with these 2 institutions and to provide the necessary support to these 2 institutions. And the kids and our dear seniors, they were very happy. As secretary, I was out on a Saturday morning painting and beautifying and doing gardening at the children's home, and I think it was a very rewarding effort. But you may recall that the week kicked off with our church service, and then on the Tuesday, the division, we hosted the Business Outlook Conference. And I think coming out of the conference over the years, over the last 8 years, we have received a number of policy prescriptions that would have assisted and guided the Assembly in terms of fulfilling our mandate and developing Tobago. This year, the theme was leading business transformation, and the areas of focus included, we had Dr. Olyana Poon touching on the tourism sector. We had a presentation from Mr. Hart talking about the opportunities in the oil and gas sector for Tobago. And then we had the keynote address by former Governor Mr. Ewart Williams. And I think coming out of all the presentations, especially Governor Williams, and Governor Williams preceded an important topic on procurement. But coming out of Governor Williams' presentation, and he highlighted a fact that has implications for what we're seeing happening now with respect to declining oil prices. He indicated that Tobago should be designated a special development zone, and as well that there's a need for economic diversification in the country nationally, and the area of focus for Tobago should be tourism. When you look at and why we need to diversify the Tobago economy, I mean, the current scenario gives you a fitting picture in that we have depended nationally for so long on the oil and gas sector, and now we're seeing the effects and the need for economic diversification. Now, I've made the point time and time again that an investment in the Tobago economy is an investment in national development. And that is why when we make the case that we need additional funding for our development program, it's because when we continue to invest in our development program, we continue that economic diversification thrust in the Assembly, so that outside of the oil and gas sector, we would have had a number of industries developed on the island to balance off the negative effect in declining oil prices. I know one of although we are faced with a declining revenues with respect to oil and gas, in a Tobago context, we are poised to have an increase in our tourism arrival, in our tourism sector. And this will, we hope, in the long run, balance out the negative effects in terms of declining oil revenue. So once we have that continued investment in Tobago, and once the Assembly receives the requisite funding from central government to assist us in diversifying the Tobago economy, the negative impact with respect to declining oil prices, we will be able to cushion those shocks. So we look forward to the continued support from the Minister of Finance. And that was the Business Outlook Conference. On Wednesday, we recognized and supported and rewarded entrepreneurs who in 2014 really continued to rise to the occasion, and awards were distributed in 12 categories, included excellence in service, garment manufacturing, the most promising entrepreneur par excellence, and also the Visionary Award. So let me commend the entrepreneurs for their hard work and for those who would have participated in the Business Award. And next year, I think it will be the 10th year we will be hosting the award. And we want to open the award to not only our clients, but we want to open it a little bit wider to embrace some of the even larger businesses here on the island and to collaborate a little bit more with the Tobago Chamber of Commerce. I was particularly heartened on the Thursday, the fourth day of the Finance Week, with respect to the views from our young adults and our youth forum. The theme this year was empowering Tobago's youth to become tomorrow's leaders, and I must say, judging from all the reports, judging from the feedback from facilitators, I think our young people, they're really poised to take on the challenge and the responsibility of becoming entrepreneurs and assisting us in our diversification efforts here on the island. And I must say that the Business Development Unit, our staff, they have been mandated to work closely with our young adults. And in the summer of 2015, we'll be launching another program, because the young people, they were eager, they were yearning for more, and they were saying, Secretary, listen, we need another program. You know, we can't wait 12 months in November, and we have listened, and in the summer months we'll be launching our youth entrepreneur booth camp and a number of other activities geared towards assisting young people to get into business. So I am excited and I'm looking forward to that. We also closed off, again focusing on our young adults. The division hosted a visit to Trinidad where we encourage young adults in the 5th and 6th forms. And we hosted a trip to Trinidad where young adults were given the opportunity to visit the Securities Exchange Commission. They were, and during that visit, I think all the young adults, they were given information as it relates to the stock exchange, the investment, mutual funds. And I think most of the young persons, they were very happy regarding the visit. So I think all in all, we have hosted another successful Finance Week, and let me again thank the organizing committee and the hardworking staff in the Division of Finance for their continued efforts and dedication to hard work.
In terms of my mandate, which is in the Division of Tourism and Transportation, and to ensure that the tourism sector is well poised for growth and development, I want to indicate to the public that through the Division of Tourism and Transportation, the Tobago House of Assembly has undertaken the initiative to purchase both the Sanctuary Resorts as well as Manta Lodge for a combined total of 32 million TT dollars. And it is disaggregated as follows: 24 million for the purchase of Sanctuary and 8 million for the purchase of Manta Lodge. I must state that we in the Division of Tourism and Transportation are of the view that if Tobago is to remain attractive and if Tobago is to remain relevant as a destination, there are quite a number of activities and programs that we must undertake, whether it be publicly or privately, or a combination of both, in order to facilitate tourism development on the island and in order to move Tobago forward. And if the destination is to grow, one of the areas that we must be able to address adequately is the room stock on the island. And the challenge is at this point in time, we do not have additional rooms, we do not have enough rooms, and we need additional rooms if it is that the tourism product is to grow. And so I want to let the public know, I want you, the members of the media, to know that this is not new. Because, for instance, in Bahamas, when they recognize the economic benefits and potential from tourism, the Bahamas government at the time would have undertaken significant investment in the purchase of hotels and guest houses, so to speak, so that they too can propel the tourism sector and more so the economy of Bahamas. And if you look right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have both the Hyatt Hotel and Hilton Trinidad, as well as Magdalena, owned by the state. And so such approaches are not new. You must recall that the role of the government, and in this particular instance, the role of the Tobago House of Assembly, is to facilitate growth and development of the island. And so it is in that vein that the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Tourism and Transportation would have taken the initiative to purchase both Sanctuary and Manta Lodge at this point in time. And such a decision will see an additional 56 new rooms added to the destination, and rooms that will be of 4- and 5-star level service. Currently, we mainly provide services in the 3- and the 4-star to some extent category. And as I said, we want to grow the tourism product, and we have to be able to attract those who would want services in the 4-star and the 5-star, at the 4- and the 5-star level, so to speak. I want to remind you that the Division of Tourism and Transportation at this time undertaken a number of strategic approaches to facilitate tourism development on the island, and I would have indicated some of those at every occasion that I've had to speak about tourism, adding new flights to the destination, improve marketing or sites and development programs, and overall we are looking at the improvement of the infrastructure on the island. And so the purchase of Sanctuary and the purchase of Manta Lodge will at this time complement all of the work that we have been trying to do in the Division of Tourism and Transportation. And added to that, of course, there will be more jobs for Tobagonians and for locals alike. I see this redounding endlessly to the benefits of all Tobagonians, so to speak, through additional jobs, more work for the taxi drivers, the restaurants, so to speak. And so it is in that vein that the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Tourism and Transportation would have made representation for these two facilities to purchase. Of course, Manta Lodge offers a very attractive arrangement to facilitate diving, the dive niche. We know that that is a very important niche for the destination. At this point in time, we are moving into a new market of Brazil, and we are looking at Sao Paulo, which has over 200,000 divers. And we need to be able to provide rooms for those additional markets that the Division of Tourism and Transportation will be targeting. I want to also mention that we are working on finalizing the MOU for the 25% room upgrade program. And this is a program that will see collaboration between the Division of Tourism and Transportation and TDC vis-a-vis Ministry of Tourism. And this program seeks to reimburse hoteliers up to 25% for room upgrades or upgrades to their for upgrades to their accommodation, so to speak. And currently we are finalizing the legal arrangements in terms of the MOU. Apart from that, I also want to mention, like the Secretary of Finance and Enterprise Development, that we too had a very successful week, except that our week was the tourism week. And so we had quite a number of activities over the week. One, we had the accreditation ceremony at the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, which I would have indicated earlier that the institute would have received accreditational status for a period of 5 years. And I expect great things coming out of the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute in terms of increased marketing and, most importantly, an increased enrollment and an improved curriculum out of THTI. We also had our Thanksgiving service, which was well received, and which was well supported by not only our members of staff in the division, but by our stakeholder groups as well. We saw the prize giving ceremony for the Blue Food, one of our signature events on the island, and of course we highlighted the collaboration between the Division of Tourism and Transportation as well as the villages of Palatavere, Lansemy and Bloody Bay in the process. And that we celebrated 16 years of the Blue Food Festival, and we look forward to further collaborations and improve the programming in terms of our level of organization, not only at the divisional level, but from the community level as well. And we had two other items, or stakeholder discussions, which is of course is very important because we want to ensure that all of us are on the same page. They understand what we are trying to do and we understand what they are trying to do. And so we had the opportunity to share our achievements, to discuss what our issues and our challenges are, and to most importantly come up, make recommendations as to how we can capitalize on future opportunities. And last but by no means least, we saw the opening of the pavilion at Pigeon Point, which offers 6,500 square feet of space to the Tobago public, and is a facility that can be utilized for weddings, conferences, seminars, so to speak, because it can hold approximately 300 persons. And I'm pleased to report that that facility has so far 7 bookings up to December 31st, and we have a further 7 for the 2015 and also the 2016 period. Of course, the weddings taking a significant part of those bookings. And so we had a successful tourism week, and like the Secretary, I must say thanks to the members of staff in the Division of Tourism and Transportation for their support over the last year and 11 months, and of course to all of the stakeholders who continue to give us human support in moving the tourism sector forward. The last point I'd want to make is with regards to the vandalism of the pictures at the port. As a part of our beautification efforts, our Scarborough Enhancement Program, the Tobago House of Assembly, through the Office of the Chief Secretary, has been implementing a number of different programs and activities with the aim of beautifying Scarborough. And so we were very disturbed when we received reports that the pictures highlighting and depicting our history on the port were vandalized. And so we expressed deep concern, and we condemn that action, or those actions rather, and we're asking members of the public, if they have any information whatsoever, to pass it on to the police, because incidences and acts like these must not go unnoticed. And so the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Tourism and Transportation, and I'm sure most of Tobago, condemn that vandalism at the port and on our historical pictures.
Thank you for staying with us for the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing for the week ending December 6, 2014.